thank you so much for the wonderful film. Um, I think the audience would have a lot of questions if they could ask you, but I'll try to ask some of them at least. And yeah, the film for me personally was very, very strong. And I think a lot of people here in Serbia know a lot of things from this film, recognize a lot of things. And could you tell us, first of all, how did you decide to make this film and why?
The very first idea was to understand, for me personally, what is the role of independent artist, of independent theater artist in authorial system of Belarus. Is it possible to be free and independent as artist, or it's just an illusion that young artists have and live their lives with this illusion? And then step by step, I recognize that it could be much more than only discussion about the role of artists. And it was for me clear that during the protest, that this film should be also a portrait of a young generation in Belarus. And with what young, I mean not the demographic young. Yeah, I speak about the a new society that was grown up before, and last year it was very loud voice from not so small country. Belarus is not so small country as dictator called. This all time it's 10 millions, and the country is almost so big as Poland. And it was actually the first idea, and then decided, and I understood, recognize, and that it would be not only about the artist, it will be also about the growing up of generation, of a nation, actually. Yeah.
And I felt that this connection between you and your characters, your protagonists, is very strong. And then I read somewhere that you have a really strong connection to Belarus Free Theater, so that it had an impact on you when you were very young. So could you tell a bit about this, because I think it's important?
Yes, we are a very good friend with Dennis, Pavel, and Marina, and also with the other members of this wonderful and really great theater. As I was a young student, I think it was 2011, I just come the first time on the stage of the theater. It was a very small house, very old house, almost in the center of Minsk. And actually I was invited by my friend of me that called Aleksejem. So there is two free places for performance for today evening. Do you want to join us? And it's for sure. And then he said to me, but it's quite dangerous. You have to take your own passport, because last time their milice, their MON guard, come inside the theater and arrested not only the theater group, but arrested also the audience. And then it was clear for me that I have to be there, and I was there, and it was very emotional and powerful experience for me. And I really understood actually that these people, this theater group, was so honest with the audience. They spoken with this theater about such dangerous topics, taboo topics that are actually forbidden in such authorial countries as Belarus. They spoke about the kidnapping of politicals, as you can see it in the film. They speak about death penalty. Belarus is only one country in Europe that has still now a death penalty. Yeah? And as artists, you can understand how dangerous is it to speak about it. And these guys do a theater show, and for sure it's these people are not very welcome for authorities. And it was the first time for me that I understood that theater could be such deep, such important, such strong, using only art elements. They have no huge budget. They have not huge stage. They rent a small house, old house in Minsk, and it's enough to be so precise, to be so strong, and in the same time clear for your audience. And they have sold out all performance. And yeah, it was my first know each other 2011. I wanted to be also a member of the theater, and the theater director Nikolai Klesin invited me to come there. But then I decided to come to Germany to study film school, and it was other direction. But as you see, 8 years later, I come back to the theater, but in other role as a filmmaker. And yeah, as you really mentioned, our lives as artists was the whole time very close to each other. And it's the reason why I choose these people to observe their lives and their role in Belarusian process right now. And I very appreciate these people. I admire their courage. I admire their honesty. I admire their responsibility to their audience. And for me, it's a parade example. Who is the artist?
You mentioned courage as it's also the title of your film, but in a way your film also talks about the consequences of courage. So it's not easy to have courage, to encourage people to and one of your characters was someone from the army or the militia who is talking to one of your characters. He says then because we're talking about the 26 years of non-democratic rule of the dictatorship in your country. So he says something like, yes, the one who fought or had this kind of experience doesn't want to fight again to experience it again. When you're 55, then you lost somehow the not only the courage, but you just take care of your life and don't have this energy to do it again. So it's on the younger generation to keep fighting. So could you say something about this really prolonged period of like these waves of protest that didn't end up with change, and then a new wave comes every I don't know how many years. So what do you think about this? Is this the final one, or what do you think? What is the future of this movement?
It's a complicated question. I'm film director. I'm not a politiker, but for sure I have my thoughts, my observation for this process. It was very important for me to create in courage in this film a level of history of this protest. And as you as the audience could see that I started the film with this archive material and I end the film with archive material. I wanted to transform the audience their feeling that this protest, this resistance, it's a cycle. It's a process that has started immediately as Lukashenko came on the power, 1994. The people recognized quite quickly who is this person. What's actually the face of him. But very quickly, this person took all elements of power in his really hands, and he did all possible that their occupation, it's really occupation, will close all possibility to change something. Yeah? And he understood very quickly also that Belarusian people have other mentality. Yeah? Belarusian people are very, at the same time, they are very emotional, but at the second time, they are very nachdenklich. They are thinking of the consequences very, very, very strong. Yeah, twice, third times before they act. Yeah? For example, the difference between us, Belarusians, and Ukrainian people. Yeah? Ukrainian people do it immediately. Yeah, they are too more emotional as we are, Belarusians. Yeah, and sometimes they are maybe lucky, but sometimes they're not really see about the consequences. Yeah, it's a reason why Belarusians in August 2020 don't took gun in the hand, because they understood that our neighbor from the earth, Russia, will come immediately with their Panther, with their tanks in Belarus. Yeah? And I can follow these things, my thoughts longer and longer, but I think it's enough to understand that it's too complicated situation. Yeah, and I could also say my positive feeling. I'm quite positive, because I cannot imagine that person could be more longer in power as 1 or 2 years. I think the changing will come. And I hope that the changing will come because of Belarusian people on the street. Because if the people in Belarus were not involved in these changes, it will be too dangerous. Because we are inside between two big, let's call it political player. It's the European Union, and the other side, it's Russia. And we are between, and this geopolitical idea bring people to choose between West and East. I'm not agree with it that we have to choose. I think it's possible to find a diplomatic demographic decision that it could be a collaboration with both of these players, but the main idea that we will have and we'll see and I'm more than sure the changes in Belarus. It's a question of time and a question of cost, and this cost will be very high. I hope that it's possible to bring this changing without a big escalation and without blood. And I can answer you why I'm so positive, because if I see the faces of young students that are sitting in jail right now in Belarusian prison, and they get 2 or 3 years because of demonstration, only of demonstration, they get 2 or 3 years of prison. And I see a personality on these faces. I see a 20 years old woman that she's so strong, and I see that 1 year of prison has not crushed herself, and it's very important, because our gulag depends of us. Yeah? If we are ready to stay strong in this gulag that's created in the whole country, it could not change us, And if I see these young faces and these strong faces, I understand that this generation will do all possible that these changes, peaceful changes, will come.
Thank you so much for this, because it was a wonderful, you answered all of my questions almost. I just wanted to ask another thing. It's, you said about the young woman who was who's in prison, and I read something that Svetlana Alexievich said about that this is a kind of a not a women revolution, but they have a lot of there are a lot of women that are involved, and that somehow through all these years the society was somehow raised in violence, and that the violence was the language that was predominant. But now all of a sudden there is this other side, the non-violence and this positive side, and the people are really, they want that. So that kind of change. So so do you think your film would be shown in Belarus when the change comes, or even before?
So when the change will come, it will be shown for sure, and we have a big plan to show it in one of the first weeks, and a huge amount of Belarusians are waiting to see, looking forward to this film. And but let's be realistic. Right now, it could be actually impossible to show this film in Belarus. Only in internet it's possible. But there are some reasons why I'm not able to do it right now. The first reason, because of cinematographer of this film, Tanya Haurilchik. She's till now is in Belarus, in Minsk. She's living there, and she don't want to
be exposed.
Left Belarus. Yeah, it is her decision. She wants to stay there, and as you can understand, that's absolutely not possible for me to show this film and to risk with her actually life. Yeah, it is 100% sure that after that we will show this film online in Belarus, and thousands of people will see this film. Sure that militia will come to Tanya, and she will be arrested. Yeah, and in cinema world, it's absolutely no go. Maybe in political world, it's okay to take one life of person instead of 1,000. In cinema, it doesn't work, and my responsibility allow me not to do this, and it's a reason why this film is not visible right now in Belarus. And there are some other reasons. Other people from film team are also in Belarus, and some protagonists. You can also see ex-Amman person and other people who were very honest and open their really thoughts for the camera, and it's dangerous.
Yeah, I think your film itself is a act of courage, and I wish you luck with this film. I wish luck to your country and to all the people there, and yeah, I wish that it works out well, and that the change is possible. And yeah, that's my wish to all of you, and from our festival, from our audience too. So thank you very much for this talk, and if, in case you want to say something else maybe to us or to your audience, you may do it now also.
Yeah, I also very grateful for you, for the whole team of your festival, that you give a possibility to Serbian audience see this film, and not only see this film, to alive this lives of three person, Dennis Piles and Marina, and in the same time to have a really deep, very deep insight on the situation in Belarus. And I love very much your country. I was there 2 years ago. In Serbia, I'm appreciate your complicated way. You have enough. Serbian people have a huge amount of trauma, and you could really understand very good the trauma of Belarusian people. And I'm very happy that cinema could have this really deep exchange to connect people with common pain. And at the same time, it's also our responsibility of artists to give people a hope. So I'm grateful to you, dear Serbian audience, that you are so courageous to come and to see this film, and looking forward to your thoughts. And yeah, please stay very humanic.